What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Pages with Paige, and today we're going to be doing a mid-year check-in. Don't forget to check the description box below for donation and petition sites, as well as the card to the Black Lives Matter movement, a playlist created by Opal from Opal Lessons of Black booktubers that you can check out, as well as some Indigenous Aboriginal resources for my Australian subscribers. So since I only joined BookTube in March, I think it was, I didn't actually do a goals for the year video. However, I have been doing my own private since the beginning of the year. And honestly, it's pretty straightforward. So the first goal is to read 155 books. I read 153 last year, and it still irritates me that I couldn't find 2 things to read just to bump it up to 155. So that's what I'm going for this year. Now, each month I'm trying to do I try and do some criteria. So a buddy read, a big book which is over 500 pages, read a standalone, read a series continuation, read an open book, so that's one that I've started and then put down for whatever reason and haven't come back to, read a hauled book, and the middle grade monthly book of the month. So in January I did all of that, in March I did all of it. February, April and May I didn't read a big book, but that's okay because I will explain that goal in a minute. And last month I didn't read any open books, but I had a weird reading month, so I'm cool with that. For each of my criteria I had things that I would like to check off. So the first is my big book challenge. I had 12 books in a jar and I pulled 6 out, and I would like to get to those, or there has been a shift, and if I happen to get to the additional ones, I'll just swap it out for something else. So at the moment, I've read 3 big books from that particular list. I have read other big books, but I haven't counted it because they're not from that list. So I need to read 3 more in 6 months to be able to reach that goal. So I'm right on track with what I wanted to accomplish with the 6 by the end of the year. Then I had a list of standalones and I wanted to read 10 from that list. I've currently read 6, so I just need to read 4 more from that, which I'm really happy about because these are books that have been sitting around and I've been interested in them but never went and pushed for them. The next is I wanted to read 10 series and somehow I've managed to read 7 and like finish them off. So actually the ones that I've read, they're actually completed series, so that is awesome. So I would like to read 3 more and finish off 3 more series, preferably ones that I had started prior to 2020. I've kept a list of the ones that I've started this year, which yeah, but it's fine. And a lot of these are a little bit difficult because they're not actually finished, they're just being continued on, but being up to date with them would also count as a completed series for the moment. Next, I want to update my Pop Sugar reading challenge of this year. I have no idea where I'm at. Like, I've got 0 clue. I know that I've filled in a bit of my planner with it, so I printed them off and fit them into this little shiny layer, but I really haven't gone through and checked off the ones, and yeah, I need to get on that. So I will go through and fix that up and hopefully be able to at least finish the regular prompts, if not the advanced. Next, I want to finish off my open books. So I have quite a few, and the way that I keep track of them is through the reading planner I put at the end of each month for books that I did not finish. I also have a wheel that lets me know which ones are still open, and I'm only including physical books in this because I want to cut off my TBR rather than my ebooks. I don't care if they sit open on my Kindle for ages, that's fine. But my physical books I would love to get checked off. So they are Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. Started reading this, wasn't really interested, but I can get the audiobook from my library at any time, so I do want to finish it eventually. Next is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I picked this up randomly, read 10 pages of it and went, yeah, no, I'm not in the mood for this, so I put it down, but I do want to finish it by the end of the year. I've wanted to read this for ages and I just keep putting it off and off and off. I've heard that it's not fantastic, but once I get through it, then I can offer my opinion on that. Next is The Well of Ascension by Sanderson. I meant to read this last month for the Not Safe for Workathon. I read the first page, or 2 pages, and then didn't get to it, but it's now an open book, so I need to get to it by the end of the year. I do want to actually finish, that would be one series that I would want to finish off, is the Mistborn First Era, so reading this and Hero of Ages. I know that my friend Jaxie Jax Reads, that her Instagram will be linked below, loves these, and yeah, I really do want to get to them. The next is The Trauma Cleaner by Sarah Krasanosky. This is following a trans woman who goes through and cleans up after like murders and major trauma scenes, and so I really want to get to this. I started reading it and I was listening to the audiobook and I wasn't following along, so I don't feel like I retained any information. So it's still open, but I'm going to restart it and go from there. But it's really short. The audiobook is not long and it's well narrated, so I'm happy to finish this off by the end of the year. Finally, I am 48 whole pages into The Toll by Neil Shusterman, and I just want this done. It's a chunky monkey. I'm scared that it's going to be horrible because people have not been saying positive things, but I want to get it done. So this would also finish off a series. So if I just got on things and actually read series to their entirety, that would be great. But yeah, those are the open books that I have in my possession. The final challenge that I'm setting for myself by the end of the year is to read all of the books that I hauled in March and April. So there's actually only 5 books of those I need to read, which I'm quite impressed with, because I have been reading them quite quickly. May and June's book haul was a little bit extreme, so I'm not putting too much pressure on that, but I will really evaluate once I finish March and April. And I'm thinking of doing a book haul revisited, like from Stef from Noveltea Corner. She goes through and looks to the book haul of the year before, and any books that she hasn't read, that's what she adds to her TBR for that month. And I think it's a fantastic way of making sure that you're reading your books that are coming in a timely manner. Admittedly, I do have 400 and something books that have been on my TBR for years, so I'm not too concerned if I don't get to the ones that I bought the year before, but it's a nice little challenge. So they are Prairie of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is a chunky monkey, so I'm intimidated getting to this by the end of the year, but I've seen a lot of good things and I think I'd really enjoy it, so I'm keen to get to it. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I saw Becca from Becca in the Books went on a bit of a Colleen Hoover binge in May, March, April. Time is weird when you're in quarantine. And I saw this at an op shop for $2 before I went into lockdown, so I picked it up, and yeah, I have no idea what it's about, but give it a shot. The last one that I have with me physically is House of Earth and Blood, the first book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. This was kindly gifted to me by Amy, and I'll leave her channel linked in the description box as well. And yeah, another chunky monkey, but that's okay, it's fine, I'm not stressing, it's all good. So the other 2 books I can't actually find where I've put them. So the first one is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I again got that at an op shop, so I want to get to that. It is also a behemoth, I think. It's fine, we're fine, it's all good. As well as Off Season by Jack Ketchum. This is a horror book about cannibals and children, I think. Gavin read it recently and then I bought it. My friend asked if he could borrow it, so I said sure. He's read it and really enjoyed it, and we were recently talking and another friend of his wants to borrow it, so I've said yeah, sure. So it's going to go to her and then come back to me, and then I'll be able to read it, but it's not currently in my possession to be able to read. So that is all the goals that I want to reach by the end of 2020. Oh Lord, pray for me. This is going to be interesting. Let me know in the comments below, do you have any major goals for the rest of this year, or are you just having a chill one? Because honestly, though I've made this video, we'll see how it goes. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!